Check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Hello? Hey, hey, hey. What's going on with you guys? Just tune to watch and chill and chat. That's the way how it should be. So, just no, I'm just about to start actually. We got 12 minutes, and then there is the great watching of the new making of. You did indeed miss nothing. Yeah, me too. I just read something. Let me just check this real quick. Where is it? Yeah. I saw that on Reddit. Give me a second. Yo, Pan Salt, how you doing, man? Okay. Just in time. Yeah, we got 10 minutes. You can get some beverages, some cold or hot ones, I don't care. Some juicy snacks. Yeah, so about that, by the way, if you have questions or anything, we got 10 minutes before I start streaming properly. What I wanted to show, and I don't know if this is something to notice. I could just go onto Reddit on my, yeah, the fucking zoom is off. I mean the focus. So it says here that they changed the remake from early 2026 to coming 2026. And I can already hear the people scream, "Oh my god, give us the game already." But you guys, you know, I'm a chill dude. I'm chillin'. I'm chillin', and I'm of the opinion, take your time, because, you know, we got some rushed experiments back in the day. And just imagine, you know, Gothic 1, Gothic 2, Night of the Raven, they all had their flaws, but imagine they had their time, no limits, and they just worked it to perfection. Just imagine that. That's crazy. Okay. Oh, Andre, the playable teaser, that's like old shit. It's like really, really old. Yeah, the Jurassic Park stuff, that was It was hilarious. If Joe was still involved, we would have the new Gothic remake within the first week of production. No need to wait years of They'd be like, money! We need money now! Yeah, I get that. Probably. Fuck Jawwood. From 1 to 2, Night of the Raven, you don't have to left click plus W to fight a suck convo with. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, sure. But I think, you know, in the grand scheme of things, the whole movement was very similar and the controls were very similar. But that especially, you know, you have to press the W key as well. That was horrible. But you get used to it pretty quick, I might say. And it kind of makes sense, you know. Okay. I don't care for achievements. Yeah, bro. Like, if you play, I don't know, some competitive FPS stuff, I can see the appeal, but Gothic, single player, I don't care about that. Jeff Sneedstein. What a cool name, by the way. Personally, I think sometimes you need a time limit to deliver. The case with Gothic 3 was just too ambitious for its time. Yeah. Yeah. To deliver masterpieces. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know if you're following the whole Valve thing. I mean, if you're as old as me, you know, born in 90, in the last century, you witnessed probably Half-Life. And how long have we been waiting for Half-Life 3, right? I mean, technically, we're still waiting for Episode 3. Well, and now we got Alex a few years back, and now they're working actively on Half-Life 3 for, I want to say, 6 years or something like that. These things take time, to quote the great Gabe Newell. Yeah. Greetings from Italy. Huge Gothic fan here. Ah, tutto bene. Ah, they're very cool. Very cool. So, what else do we have? Shame we didn't experience the stuff they left at the stage of unfinished. Yeah, sure. The cut content, man. I'm talking about it so often. I really love cut content. Did I hear Valve? Hopium administered. Half-Life 3 shall come out soon. Oh, 3, yeah. Yeah, I hope so. I mean, it's the same situation like with Gothic, you know, take your time, polish it, but in terms of Half-Life, we've been waiting for way too long. But I'm positive there's way more, or basically the most activity right now at Valve, judging by the whole data mining stuff. I'm not too well versed when it comes to that. But there's a lot of stuff happening. Jeff says, well, most games nowadays take a shit ton of time and they are at best slop, at worst absolute garbage. Sure. Tutto bene. Don't know if the rumors about releasing HL3 was delayed for this much because the Mass Effect 3 stuff, they feared it will happen with HL3 also. Oh, I think most people are very, very much on the train of thought that it's because of the prices of the hardware, because they released the fucking GameCube. I don't know what it's called, the Steam. It looks like a GameCube, but it's from Valve. They call it the GameCube, like the fans. And to bring that thing in production, you need some RAM, and RAM prices right now, because of AI, are, they're rising and ever rising. It's crazy if you think about that, you know. So every time you use AI, Gabe Newell will cry a little and Half-Life 3 will be delayed another week. But I'm at fault as well. I use AI sometimes. If you've seen my thumbnails, some of them are edited with the help of AI. Yeah. Okay, we got 3 minutes to midnight. So how you guys doing? Everything all right? Are you cool? Are you excited? Combine are taking over in real life? Yeah, brother. Yeah. And we all get fucking slop to eat. And we all dream of cheese. Yeah. Bro, talking about Half-Life, I have actually wanted to make a playthrough on this channel because it's one of my favorite franchises out there. I'm neutral, yeah. Great, just played ending of Sleeper Camp till end. Ooh, nice. Is the first playthrough? No. Can't wait to play Gothic Remake, but I feel it will not be as immersive as the vanilla version of Gothic 1. Sometimes I feel the landscape is too full of objects. The valley's supposed to be a hard place to live. Yes, that's like... Oh, brother. See, all the games back in the day, they had this very special feel to it. And I know what you're talking about. Everything... Not everything, but most landscapes really look desolate. Like, devoid of life and very harsh and rough. And I spoke about that too in some of my videos regarding the remake. But you know, we've arrived in 2026 and we've come such a long way. So high fidelity and visual clutter, that's what you need to expect nowadays, you know. But I think it's doable without sacrificing the original tone. I'm very sure it's a question of how do you adjust, for example, lighting, the art style, and how you can actually turn the art style into, you know, the finished product, into the graphics that we can see in the finished product. I think I'm positive that this is doable, certainly. The remake has G2 vibe built in, so it's more green. Yeah, it kind of is. There's more foliage around, there are more trees. Just a quick thing regarding that, I always thought that the Valley of Mines kind of reminded me of some Mediterranean area, because you found also some weird plants there. That heavily reminded me of, you know, like close to the equator, if you take a look at real life examples. And it always felt kind of dusty, so I think that was translated kind of well into the remake. But yeah, you gotta be in the colony and experience it. We've all seen stuff. We will see stuff in a minute. But we are not completely sure how it feels like. We can only judge by, you know, that's kind of a thing. So I gotta read the chat a little bit. Gotta be honest, this is so fucked up here. I gotta change my... Oh, okay, there it is. So... Okay. Interaction with the two rogues. Yeah, that was cool. That was cool. Honestly, I think you cannot reimagine that in modern graphics that aim for realism and not a certain type of art design. Yeah, old graphics sparked our own imagination to fill in the gaps. Nowadays, everything looks too filled and takes away this very thing. Yeah, exactly. Ever played games like Crusaders of Might and Magic, Rune, or Severance, Blade of Darkness? Those games had kick-ass atmosphere. Many older games said that. Again, like Pansal said, you know, it's like you fill in the blanks. And I think that's also why we perceive those old games as to be more dark in a certain way, you know, because it's kind of desolate and it feels kind of empty at times. There's this liminal feel to it, which is crazy. Okay, boys. I think we are starting off with this episode. I will stop the music right now. Okay. there's basically I haven't watched it. This is a genuine reaction. Genuine reaction. Yo, YouTube, I'm not faking it. This is my true emotions coming through, okay? That's what you get when you watch Vertigo, okay? True human emotions, no faked ass shit. Okay, are you guys ready? I want to dive in. I want to see this. I want to comment on it. I'm not sure how we are going to do it. Shall we just watch it in one go and then we watch it again and I give my comments? I'm not really sure how we should do it. I've done this before, but I forgot how I did it. You should pause whenever you want. So we do it in one go, okay? All right, everybody. Let's go, baby. Oh, is this no, we don't need that. I want the big ass graphics. Let's go.
As you were.
When we started the project, we obviously played or replayed the original Gothic games to have kind of like a fresh memory. Because, I mean, in your head, you always have a better version like kept than it actually was.
I want to go back first. Yeah, so they played the original Gothics. I mean, come on. That is like, if you want to get hired for this project, this is what you have to do, right? Better play it multiple times, you know? So this is a cool shot. We were just talking about the foliage and we've got some conifers, I think that's the word for it. What we're basically looking at, if I'm not completely dumb, this is over here should be Cavalorn's hut. And this is like the canyon leading to the new camp. And I always loved this little area. I don't know why. It's such a... I think it's like me recognizing this as a liminal space, even before liminal spaces were a thing. Because it was so out of bounds. It was like no man's land, you know? It was close to the old camp, close to the new camp, close to... the orc territory, and it's like these three areas merged together at this point, and it's like, yeah, it's no man's land, you know. I don't know, I really like this area back in the day. Okay.
Than it actually was.
Please tell me if we're loud enough, or it should be louder. Oh, this is beautiful. Lurkers, mate. I love them, actually. They're cool.
Every team member of the art team got like an art book of Gothic 3, which was the most complete documentation of a type of Gothic game in terms of art. So that was also a
Oh, this is interesting. I was in the Discord, somebody told me that quote that they got the Gothic 3 artwork book, whatever. And I thought it would be just about Gothic 3. And this is where I would rant it. This is where I would have ranted, pretty much. But now I see there is everything from Gothic 1 to Gothic 3 in there. So that is awesome. Because the old art is just so cool. It is so unique. I love it. I hold it dear in my heart. It's really, really good. And I think... You know, if you have all three games to draw inspiration from, that is the best thing you could do. And for the series moving forward. I think you can address a lot of those problems that I had with especially Gothic 3, where it completely lost the tone. You didn't really have a visual continuity where you could see, okay, this is still the humans that we dealt with back on Corrinus, you know. I don't want everything to look the same, but it should be recognizable, you know. So cool that they had this as some kind of some type of guideline.
A good reference point with a lot of the designs and art that we could always go back to.
Another thing that I love of the original games in terms of art, it's how easy it was for them to create memorable characters and memorable landmarks.
First level that in which we were working.
What? It's 3 times louder than me? Holy fuck. Wait a second. Is this better? Hello, hello. I'm louder now. Am I clipping? Am I clipping? Not really? No, I'm not clipping. Aw, shit. Yeah. I'm so sorry. Okay, we try again.
Back in the days was the ancient monastery. In the original game was like pretty.
We go back a little
Designs
bit,
and
okay?
art that we could always go back to.
Another thing
Don't want it in German. I want it in English. Thank you.
that I love of the original games in terms of art, it's how easy it was for them to create memorable characters and memorable landmarks.
First level that in which we were working. Back in the days was the ancient monastery.
Oh, really?
In the original game was like was a pretty empty space, and we tried to give it a twist in order to make it more interesting. And I think that after a few iterations, we.
Okay. Okay. So, bro, what's with the snappers? Oh, okay. Okay. So in my last video, I was like, yeah, you know, credit where credit is due. And I really like the biters. If you haven't seen the video, I was praising them quite a bit. Now we get this. This is a snapper, right? This is a regular snapper, and they remind me very much of the snappers that we saw in the playable teaser. Oh boy, I don't really like it. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, again, I don't really understand it. If you have a unique design at hand, why would you change it? We had the demon, which didn't really look like the original demon. There were plenty of liberties taken with the design, and I really like the gory and fleshy and, you know, the type of design that you would find from some type of Lovecraft story. I really like those elements, and now they turned it into something more generic. Same with the Skeleton Mage. I really dig the old model, even if it was very simple. That was really cool. Now we get something like a lich, you know, from D&D. And now here's the snapper. I really like the snappers because they were a force to be reckoned with when you were low level, mid level, and they had this massive jaw, and they had no arms, and they had very strong legs, and that was their design. And now we have a raptor basically with a beak. I don't know. Jimbro demon. Yeah. I mean, the old one, he was pretty buff. The new one, I don't know. I commented on it, but that's the thing, you know. It didn't really stay in my before my inner eye. I should look it up because it's not present in my mind right now. The new design, that is. Okay. Some information that we got. So the Cliffside monastery was the first place they worked on. Yes, it was very empty, and it's basically just, you know. like the concept is very, very interesting. Like you adventure with Gorn, and there's all these little things that happen. It's like you got to check the cave, then you find the transformation scroll, you use it, you open the door for Gorn, and then you have a stroll basically. And I like how they redesigned this place because it was basically one big empty space with a grand tower that you couldn't climb, and there was access via the mountains to the upper levels, which were consisting of 2 platforms, one you couldn't reach. But the idea of, you know, forcing a big pillar to kind of function like a bridge, that was a very, very interesting idea, but it didn't work. Some mods probably fixed that. The idea is there. It kind of reminds me of something like Tomb Raider, you know, where you got to use the terrain to get to your, you know, wherever you want to go. But whatever. In the original, it was very, very bare bones. And I just go back a tiny bit. Where is it? I really like this shot.
Was like was a pretty empty space.
No, not
Ancient monastery. In the original game was like
a little bit before that. Yeah, I mean, let's just take this one. So this looks pretty much like a monastery, right? You have the arches. You have it has a certain name. I used it in my fucking Fire Mages lore video. I forgot about that. It's very reminiscent of the inner courtyard of the monastery in Korinnes, of the Fire Mages. You got the big courtyard, you know, you've got the arches and this kind of underpass and the 2 levels now. This looks fantastic. It's really looking like a proper former place of worship, which I really do like. I got distracted quite a bit by the snapper, but yeah. Pillar going in the wrong way, good times, yeah.
back in the days was the ancient monastery. In the original game was like was a pretty empty space, and we tried to give it a.
This is also pretty awesome because I am completely not sure. Where do you find the focus in the monastery? Is it in a chest somewhere? In that tunnel at the end of the tunnel? Is it in that chest that is guarded by Shadow Beast? I think so, right? That's where you find the focus. So I like that they gave it a proper focus pedestal. I mean, there is one, even in the old game, but it's kind of pushed to the wayside a little bit. You can see it once you approach the monastery, but there is nothing there, right? And here we have this almost church-like looking ruin. It was on the top of the hills? Okay. Really? There was like a ledge. A man-made ledge. No. No, the pillar was some... No. The pillar brought you to a chest, and in that chest was some random loot. Some transformation scroll and some other shit. It was in the cave. Yeah, exactly. Okay, I go back a little bit. We listen to what they say. So this is the first place they worked on. This is actually amazing because there was nothing really there, and the ideas were very basic. So, you know, you can live out your creativity, which is good.
In the original game was like was a pretty empty space, and we tried to give it a twist in order to make it more interesting, and I think that after a few iterations we got it. And the other one that was...
What? Dude, that's quite extensive. Look at that.
A very challenging task was the Sleeper Temple. A very big temple with a lot of spaces, rooms, shrine.
What the fuck? What is going on here? Bro, Sleeper Temple is one of my favorite locations in the whole Gothic verse, in the Gothic universe. Look at that. Jesus Christ, this is awesome. A lot of spaces, rooms, and shrines. Yeah, I mean, bro, I'll be honest here right now. Erdorath from Gothic 2 has nothing on the Sleeper Temple. Sleeper Temple was just superb. It was supreme. It's one of the best dungeons I ever came across in an RPG, especially for that time. You got to keep that in mind, you know. The atmosphere was so thick, it really felt like this is endgame. These are the end times. Look at that. Dude, I cannot wait.
Of spaces, rooms, shrines.
Estoy especialmente orgullosa de cómo quedó la Torre Shardas y que creo que fue bastante complicado también llevárnoslo a nuestro terreno.
Okay. I think we don't need the subtitles, right? Actually, we need them sometimes. Bro, again, Xardus' tower is a little bit too overkill. I talked about it in an earlier video, but you know, sometimes less is more. And I think that there was something menacing about the more or less simple design back in the day. I say simple because, you know, you had the spikes, the spires protruding from the tower, and it looked menacing when you look back through it. When you look back at it through the lens of, yeah, this game was created in the late 90s, you know. It was kind of spooky, but I think this is a little bit too much. This is a little bit too much. Atlas, do you think that it drags too much? I think there should have been more of Erdorath, but I think the design was very, very... You cannot compare it to the Sleeper Temple. First, there was no real atmosphere, and it felt more like a theme park, you know? It's like, oh, you've got the staging area, then you got that room where you got to do this, and then this room where you got to do that, and then this room. It's like, you know, you're led through this tubular level, and there's all these checkpoints, whereas the Sleeper Temple feels like a place of worship. I don't know, maybe I'm blowing too much sugar up the ass of the Sleeper Temple. I could be wrong, but yeah. Jeff says that the Xardus was basically like the Tower of Orthanc of Isengard from Saruman, simple and made out of obsidian-like material. Yeah, I like it. And, oh man, I mess up your fucking name. I'm sorry. Papcio Polak, you're right. Fewer polygons make it easier to imagine everything on your own. Sure. And we talked about that earlier, you know, that nowadays you need a higher level of detail. But I think you can also translate the old simple style into the modern age without sacrificing too much of the original spirit. It's just a question of the art design, the choices, you know. Could be wrong though. All good, man.
Es bastante especial como ha quedado y que siempre recordaré pues todo el proceso que hemos hecho para llegar a unas referencias nuevas, interesantes, a interpretar todo el original, añadir más contenido a todo ese escenario, esa zona, y creo que
Game of Thrones.
I'm sure we'll come up with a very big list of...
Look at that, okay. Once again, Xardus' Tower, I go back just a tiny bit to this shot here, and what I don't like, it's like the structure was a very simple structure in the original games. And I know there should be more visual fidelity in the modern remake, I know that. And I've got kind of nothing against it, that it looks like a Gothic cathedral, like the Cathedral of Cologne in Germany. If you don't know, look it up. Oh, I can just show you what I'm talking about, you know. There we go. That's the Kölner Dom, yo. The Kölsche Dom. Yeah, that's basically what I'm talking about. I don't even know if this is Gothic architecture. I'm bad at this. I gotta read into it once more. but you know, it's very intricate. If you take a look at the towers, it's very so many details, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of Xardas Tower here, and I don't really care about that. But then, you know, I think half of the spikes that we see, half of those spires would have been enough. Then you got the red stained glass glowing windows, and I'm like, yeah, could have been a little more simple, you know. I don't know. That's just my opinion, but here we are. Too much detail, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's surely one of those things that are pretty divisive in the community, but it is what it is. Xardas designed it this way to keep the pigeons away to not poop on his tower, yeah. Bro, Progas, we will all kind of get used to it. And be sure there will be mods. And Gothic, let's be honest, thrived through the modifications. And I hope that the modders will have more or less like an easy procedure doing this, you know, like easy going with those mods. But as we all know, or as some of us know, Unreal 5 is kind of hard to mod, and I got somebody to talk with, or I had somebody that I talked with, and he was kind of explaining that to me, but my brain is very small and it's very smooth. It's not wrinkly, so I didn't really comprehend what he was saying. It's kind of hard for modders to deal with something like Unreal 5. Yeah, it was yeah, exactly. It felt like that's good, Atlas. It felt like it was a tower where he lived in. This feels like the evil palace of Dark Necromancer Man. And I don't want to diminish whatever the developers are saying here, you know. You and me, we don't know how much work you have to do, or how much work it needs to design something like this, to properly set it up in the game world. We simply don't know. And it was probably a huge undertaking, and I respect that. Still, my opinion is less is more. Okay, let's continue.
Más interesantes a interpretar todo el original, añadir más contenido a todo ese escenario, esa zona, y creo que está muy chulo.
I'm sure we'll come up with that.
So, this is brother. Oh my god. I mean, he did want to keep people out, so this kind of works. Yeah, it does, but to be honest, like in the old game, you know, even if somebody of the camps, even if a group of people from the camps would slaughter their way into the orc territory to finally stand in front of this massive tower of black stone, I wouldn't go in there. But correct me if I'm wrong, you know, I think in the tower itself there are some skeletons, so probably someone thought it was a good idea to go in there. Yeah, fuck them. Xardas dealt with them. Just very quick, I wanna go for this picture now. Oh, let me read the chat a little bit. I'm honest with you. I feel this whole modders will fix that is kind of a cope. Oblivion Remaster had a lot of broad issues, and on top of that, political correctness. I'm not sure. I don't wanna comment on Oblivion and Starfield for that matter, because I haven't played those games. I know what you're trying to say. So modders cannot fix the core game. The core game needs to be solid, just like with the original, and everything else around it can be fixed. To say that we witness political correctness right now with the Gothic remake, I mean, months ago we had this huge outrage because of the women, and that certainly was where many people cried Wolf, in my opinion, and said the game was woke and all that stuff. I think because I was teased a little bit. I saw pictures on fucking X of this trailer in particular, and I think some of us will be redeemed later on because of a certain person that we will see. Hey Landros, how you doing? But I know what you're saying. Modders cannot fix the core game because, like, in my opinion, the best the best example of that is simply Gothic 3. See, many people worked on mods for Gothic 3 for years, and there are still big mod projects going on, like a complete restructuring. I don't know what it's called. It's like a big mod that is in development for like 10 plus years, or even longer. I respect that, but all of the other mods couldn't make the game better. Last time I played it, I threw mods at the game, and it was still shit. Like, those mods didn't even make it better. It didn't even make it more bearable. Okay, I had less visual bugs and more bugs, less bugs in general, but it didn't fix the core issues the game had. But I think to say that, yeah, modders won't fix the remake is very early to say because we've only seen stuff. We only played a little bit, and I cannot really judge it. Yeah, I don't know. Community story project. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's awesome. Ah, yeah. Okay, let's move on. Let's take a look at this. I mean, we can talk about those things later on if you like, but just right now, I wanna stick. I don't want to lose my train of thought. I want to stick to the video first, and then we can obviously talk about more later on. So this is a place in the swamp near the Brotherhood, and we've seen this place several times now. And I just find it fascinating because it's a structure that's obviously overgrown, it's deserted, and I don't know what it is. There seems to be some type of crane because you can see some wares and goods hooked up on some type of rope that leads to the upper level. And I'm really curious what this is. Obviously, it was once belonging to the Brotherhood, and we can see there is a fucking cool platform on top of another platform. It looks really awesome. And it made me think a little bit about the early stuff of the, I want to say, beta version of Gothic, the original, where you had this huge hollowed out tree where the gurus prayed in. That was pretty awesome. It kind of reminded me a little bit of that, but obviously it's nothing like that. And the reason why this is so fascinating is because it's deserted. Why is it deserted? Like, the Brotherhood is going strong. Why did they leave this place? It seems to be in good shape. So something happened. Something happened in the vicinity of this place. Was it the swamp sharks? Was it orcs? But it doesn't seem damaged. It's just there and it's rotting away. I'm really interested what this is. Okay.
Very big list of pretty memorable places we want to visit again and we recognize. And the same with characters. I mean, you have Diego, Gorn, Shardas, Raven, Gomez. I mean, there's a pretty big list of memorable people.
Our main inspiration was obviously the visuals of the old one.
There he is. Okay. A lot of stuff happened in a very short time. I gotta go back. So this was the first that we didn't talk about. So obviously some people were a little bit mad about the stained glass windows because it was kind of too Christian. And if you remember, this is obviously the chapel in the old camp with the fire mages, right? Yeah, shard ass. Bro, they're from Spain. It's hard to pronounce the German stuff. Some people were mad because they kind of lost their aesthetic. Because in the original you had all these occult symbols drawn on the walls, I think. And I get it. Then in Gothic 2, you had more of a Christian approach to the whole fire mages thing going on there. And later also in Gothic 3. I don't know how I feel about this. It looks absolutely stunning. You cannot deny that. But yeah, there's something lost on the way. I mean, you can still have stained glass windows and have like occult themes going on. But yeah, it is what it is. So just judging by the visuals, I think it's great. I really love the lighting. I love stained glass. I love the effect it has. And we saw some other screenshots. They look completely nice. And now we gotta be really careful with the next pictures because they were pretty fast.
Several places we want to visit again, and we recognize.
Okay, this is the Hollow. Obviously, New Camp Mine, the free mine. I think, yes, it should be. It is. Looks a little bit different. But the layout wasn't too memorable in my opinion. I liked that it was like almost like the city in a fucking, cauldron-like topography. I really like this. The rocks look absolutely cool. I like it.
Nice. And the same with characters. I mean, you have Diego.
Okay, there we go. So.
Characters. I mean, you have Diego.
Diego, I don't know, guys. I like this design. I like it. I feel like they made him just a little bit younger, which I'm completely okay with, since, dude, in the future I want to have more adventures with him, And if he's going to be a very old guy, bro, this is not the senior care, This is Gothic. You gotta be tough. So I like his design, bro.
Oh,
Gorn. I like his design too. Gotta be honest, I like it. I love him. Yeah, he looks like Diego to me, exactly. And this is Gorn to me. I think, sure, there are some changes, but you still have the main characteristics of his face that are present.
Sharda.
Here's Shardas. Yeah, so they changed him a little bit. I think he lost a little bit of his very, very old, decrepit face that I almost want to compare to the Emperor's face, which was kind of deformed by the dark magics, and I always had this impression of Xardas. On top, he was very old. I think he looks a little bit younger now. But yeah.
That's Raven.
Okay. I like Raven. But you know what I don't like? Let me ask you this, okay? What is wrong with Raven here? Not just his face. The whole thing, everything what we see. What's wrong with Raven here? I give you some time. Okay, he looks like Diego. Face Commander! Yes, sir, you're right. Bro, this is supposed to be the Ore Baron armor, and it just looks like he's in a sweatsuit. Like, I know we're going for a more realistic approach. I get this. But the big clunky armors were so much fun. And most armors that I've seen in the remake, they just lost their iconic silhouette. yeah, the armor. It looks cool, the details and stuff. Yeah, you know, but the frame changed so drastically. Landros, please. You gotta say, I'm right with this one. Yeah, it kind of looks like a Witcher jacket. A little bit, yeah. The thing is, I also know why it's so hard to compare this. Especially like the Orbaron armor, because you have the fur, right? You could never, ever have had that detailed fur back in the day. So it was just one clunky thing. And that made the frame of whoever wore the armor bigger. I get this. But there are also other examples in when we're talking about armor in the remake that where I'm like, okay, they look cool, but I'm kind of missing the bulk, you know? I'm not talking World of Warcraft style big ass pauldrons that cover your whole body. No, but just give them a little frame. Give them a little frame. You know, you need when you stepped into the old camp to talk to Gomez and you walked into the big house and there is Raven and he's standing there and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Look at that piece of armor. I want that. And then you see Gomez and he's got, you know, the even bigger armor. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? That looks so nice. I want it. It looks amazing. Look at him. Majestic. Greetings, mate. Holy fuck. Looks like a tracksuit with some possum fur hot glued on. Oh, God. Help me. Oh, man. Peter. You're so right with this one. Look at that. I can't unsee it now. Landris, obviously you're right. You're right. It's all personal. It's all subjective. I think I know what you're saying, but that comment, man. Jesus Christ, this is awesome. Can I pin this message? Look at that. I can. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on.
Gomez.
There he is. So obviously right now you can see the difference. It's good that they're, you know, just... Oh no. Oh no. You can obviously see that the frame is bigger. This type of armor is way more elaborate, and you can see like the harness underneath the fur is way more pronounced. So yeah, there is a difference in the Orbaron armors. This one, in my opinion, is better because the frame is just a little bit bigger. But yeah, let's talk about Gomez. Yeah, it's the heavy armor, exactly. So I said my piece about Gomez. I don't like his design. I think it would do the model a great service if they would just shave him, you know. Just let the mustachio stay and shave the rest off. Because that one, the goatee, is irritating as fuck. It's very irritating, and I think it would be better without the goatee. I'm sorry. It looks like Matteo. I got you, brother. Yeah. Yeah. Gomez is too young. I don't know. Gomez has some sort of... I don't know. I don't see Gomez. Yeah, you're right, King of Chaos, because he looked unimpressed. I think I know why, because his model in the original had kind of droopy eyes. Sure, I don't want that, so the eyes are fine with this one. They could have maybe adjusted his eyebrows a little to be a little more vigilant, to have a more vigilant expression. Pansalts, yes, thank you. The old version looked like an Italian mobster, and I think this is what I liked about it. Yeah. You've got this very sharp face, almost, I want to say, kind of triangular, a very vigilant gaze. This one doesn't really get me that much. But again, I want to repeat myself. If Alchemia is listening, hey, consider shaving our man Gomez here, please. Just a tiny bit, not everything, you know. Leave the mustache, but you know the rest. Just shave it off. Shave it off. A goatee doesn't fit. Atlas says, yeah, Gomez is the only face I actively dislike. I think he needs that iconic mustache. He ought to look older by a bit. The silhouette I think is okay, but he just doesn't look quite right. Yeah, thank you. I cherry pick the comments that kind of support my view. Have you noticed that? I think I found Gomez in Gothic 2 Night of the Raven. It's Mateo. Yeah, he's undercover, brother. He's undercover. It's just, you know, reusing the assets that they had. Okay, let's move on. What's the next one?
There's a very...
Oh, boy. That's fast. Okay, Gomez.
There's a very...
Fuck that shit.
there's
a... Saturas. I think it's okay. I think I like his model. I do. I do enjoy it. And the robe, I was criticizing it before. Yeah, my W takes, right. I think I said it in another video where the hero was wearing the water mage's robes and it kind of looked like satin. Or some type of velvet shit reflecting the light very much. And I disliked that because it looked so new. And now seeing Saturas in this robe where it doesn't really reflect too much light, where it doesn't look as shiny as those robes we saw earlier, I really dig it. I like the details. I like that you can that you can look at the robe and you can almost imagine what it feels like to touch this type of fabric. It's like a very heavy linen robe. I like it. Yeah, Peter, same. Again, the original armors were just like way bulkier. And that's what I'm kind of missing. I don't miss it that much when talking about mage armor because they're standing in the back and they cast spells. I don't know. But the heavy Templar armor, for example, the pauldrons just need to be a little bigger. Just a tiny amount, a little bigger. Or Baron armor needs to be a little bigger. Heavy mercenary armor, I think we saw them in the last video. Could also be a little bit bigger, you know, just to give you that impressive silhouette, the frame. Atlas, that's actually a good thing. Do we get a new type of rope, or and was that the reason why it looked this way? But I'm not sure about that. The original ropes looked like they had a little bit of armor in them, bro. Yeah, I kind of know what you're talking about. Duster code. They always reminded me of. Yeah, like I think it's called a duster. Yeah, look at this. Because they had this textile stuff. I don't know if it was meant to be some kind of stole or anything like this, but they always reminded me of these type of coats, which are pretty badass, man. Look at that. Can I buy that? No. I want to buy that coat. Probably costs a fortune. But I'm broke. Look at that. Damn, I'm gonna be Van Helsing with that one. Okay, back to the topic. Cowboy Cetras. Okay.
It's a very
Jesus Christ, this is so fucking fast. Okay, here we have, that is Choristo, the High Magician of Fire inside the barrier. I like him. I like him. I like it. I like the very elaborate robes. And once again, please take notice of the different materials. We can see there is fabric, textile stuff, woven into or what seems to be like leather underneath. Seems like the textile stuff is embroidered into the leather. And then you can take a look at, I don't know, like this vest he's wearing underneath. It's also leather. Like, bro, this is so interesting to see the old armors being reimagined, and you can see the materials that they are made of. That's crazy, actually. BJ Strife, please don't tease me. I know what this video is about, but I haven't watched it yet. So yeah, we're going to talk about that. What? Extra pauldrons? Oh my god. Okay. Next
pretty.
one. Jesus Christ. Okay. For now, I wanna change the playback speed because this fucks me.
Very pretty.
This fucks me up real bad. Yeah, here's the traitorous bastard Corcolom. I gotta say, I like his model. I do like it. I don't know, judging someone by their outer appearance is, you know, never judge a book by its cover, I know. But he's got something in his eyes. You know, he's got those traitorous eyes. He's like, he's deceiving you. He's deceiving your ass. I like it. And again, you've got the High Guru robe, which also looks very nice. You've got the cool necklace with the, I don't know, is that jade or something like that? Really interesting details. I love it very much. I like the tattoos. I like his face, his expression. I like it. That deceitful Corcolom. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Oh, bruh. I don't know. Yeah, so this is Lee. Look, in general, I like his model. If it wasn't for the fact that this is supposed to be Lee. You know what I'm saying? I like his model. But not for Lee. I always envisioned Lee as a seasoned veteran. Yes, I know he's got the gray strand of hair, but he doesn't look older than, I don't know. Looks like 30, 35, maybe 40. Not older. While the original always looked like, I don't know, 45, 50 years old. Like an experienced, seasoned, old general, but not too old. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, even with the scars, it really doesn't do it for me. I don't know. I'm not convinced. And it's a shame because he's a major character just like Gomez. Danier, you're right. Yeah, at least. At least. Yeah, I don't know. I think I said this also way back. I think if you take a look at the original faces of Gothic, even though they're a pixelated mess, even though it's unsharp at times, I do really think that they managed to have such unique faces that are very, very recognizable and very, very memorable. I don't know why you would cast something like this away when you've got the perfect, unique face for a certain character. Why would you choose to make it different? That's what I don't understand. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not too convinced. I'm not too convinced. But yeah, his armor again, that's the heavy mercenary armor, and yeah, you can see the frame is a little bit bigger, but man, the original when you have the heavy mercenary armor equipped, you almost look like a fucking space marine from Warhammer or StarCraft. Dude, they were so heavy. Okay. That's Lester, obviously. It's okay. I think it's okay. It's okay. I dig it. I kind of dig it. I kind of like it. I love the colors, but I said that before. It's okay. Yeah, so what's up with Milton? I get what they're going for. I get this. He's kind of a young guy. But what about his nose? Did somebody break his nose? Is he a heavy drinker? Why is it so red? Why is he so dirty? I mean, he lives in possibly the best place in the colony. I don't know about this. Milton. Our dear Milton. Guys, I'll be back in a minute. I gotta take a leak. Please, talk about whatever you like. I'll be back in a second. Okay. So I like the armor. I really like it. I dig that the fire mages have this leathery appearance. I do dig it, really. But Milton, he looks kind of filthy. Like, if it wasn't for the piece of armor, I thought he was living under the fucking bridge leading to the old camp. You know, like a mole rat. I don't know. There he is. There he is. My boys, that's Scar. I like it. I like it. What do you guys think? Obviously, it's a huge departure from Scar's original model. But it's closer to, yeah, you said it, Landros. It's closer to a certain Marvin, and I really, really do like it. I like this. I like this. He's also got like this kind of very youthful beard, where it seems like it's not yet growing that strong, you know. Let's move on. No, Loris. I like him. I like him. Yes. It's a little bit of a departure from the original, but I like it. And I also like the armor. I do like this piece of armor. It looks like the left pauldron, this one here, it's made out of some type of creature piece. Very nice. I do dig it. I like it. Yeah, he's pretty good. Iberion, right? This is Iberion. Yeah. I like him. Yes. He looks a bit different in the original. He's also got kind of a unique face, I want to say. Let me take a look. Yeah. Don't really see his face that good. Can I please? Oh, I can't. But it's okay. It's okay. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm sorry that I'm coughing like a fucking madman. I had a cold the last few days. Still recovering. Okay, let's move on. Who is this sexy man? Oh, that is us, right? That's cool. Okay. Now we go back and listen to all of this once again before we had this very detailed discussion about the looks.
And we
Oh yeah.
recognize, and the same with characters. I mean, you have Diego, Gorn, Shardas, Raven, Gomez. I mean, there's a very pretty big list of memorable people.
Our main inspiration was obviously the visuals of the old one, because there was a lot of fine detail in there, although it was just 512 by 512 or even lower.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that big ass pauldron he's got there. Dude, this is awesome. Like the old model. But I do love the artworks. I like the style. But again, as you can see, the frame suffered a little bit. The silhouette suffered. For a more realistic approach, I don't know if that was a good decision. Volume is bad again? Oh yeah. Wait. I tuned it down now.
So we tried to extract that and read that. So we categorized.
Whoa. Okay. Whoa. Okay. Oh my god. Okay, so dude, I wanna see like a, you know, what the concept arts are and what we get in the final version. Look at that. Oh my god. Nameless Hero. Bro, I'm actually... I gotta hit the pipe for this. Bro, this is so much better. Except, wait, let me check this. Who I don't like. Laris. I think the Laris that we get in the final version is better than this one. Than the concept art. But let me tell you this. Every single one of these concept arts looks better than the ones that we get in the final version. Choristo. He's an old fucking man. He looks kind of fatherly, like grandpa in this picture. I really dig it. And his facial features are a lot softer. Koran Gar, I don't have him present right now, the remakes version of him. But look at that concept art. He is a badass. He's a badass. Look at that. He looks so intimidating. Oh my god. Looks so good. Korkalum is probably the closest to what we got in game. So I'm okay with it. Lester seems more in line with his original face, I want to say. And I also like it more. Gomez. You know what he reminds me of? What's the guy called in The Walking Dead? Negan. This is not a slur. Sorry. You know who I'm talking about. He kind of reminds me a little bit of that dude. But this Gomez right here, infinitely better. Infinitely better. Oh my god. I cannot believe this. Give me a second. I cannot believe my eyes, brother. Oh no! What have I done? What have I done? Gorn, I think, is pretty close to his finalized version. Lares is a departure, sure. General Lee, in this picture, looks way better than whatever we got. Way more seasoned. I don't know what it is. Maybe his facial structure suffered a little bit when creating the in-game model. Saturas, I'm sorry, looks quite okay, I think, in comparison to his in-game model. Thoris, damn, he looks rough, but in a good way. Xardus looks cool. I think I prefer this one over his finalized version. Iberion, I also like more. He looks like a thug to me. Aren't they all thugs? Oh my god. I'm really I don't know what to say. These artworks are pretty cool. And they're also pretty close to what the original represented.
Characters in tier A, tier B, and tier C. So tier A is like the full-on like main story NPCs that are like super critical for the main story.
Look at that. Oh my god. Look at Bal Kadar. He kind of reminds me a little bit. He kind of reminds me of Johnny Sack from The Sopranos. I don't know why. Crazy. Crazy. Look at that. Look at my man Cypher over here. Jesus, he looks like a serial killer. Dude, these concept arts are so fucking good. I can't believe it. Gee. Whoa. Walter. I don't want to have sex with you, Walter. You're kind of right. Looks like a kind of happy Mr. Ehrmantraut. Kid named Finger. Yeah. Bro, I dig these concept art so much. That's so cool. I like Cavalorn here. Look at Buster, man. He's teaching you the acrobatics. Wow. But what's up with Belloro? Oh my god, he looks... Belloro is the guy who's scamming you for the weapon, right? Jesus Christ. You shouldn't trust a person that looks like this, who's talking about a fucking super weapon, which he's going to trade for some grapes and some ham. Shouldn't trust that. I'm really put off by Cypher a little bit. Bro, I cannot believe this. Gothic 1 Cypher. Right, let me see his face. Oh yeah, he grew a beard, right? In Gothic 2. Oh yeah, he's kind of got that stare. I don't know. I prefer his Gothic 2 version. But judging by his first appearance, I think he's kind of close. Kind of close. That's good. Belloro looks like Michael Sheen. Oh my god.
Stories that you interact with a lot. And for us, it was also very important that every face need to...
No way, that is Cord? No, man. Look at that. What's happening to Fortuno, man? He straight up looks like a World War II veteran from the you know, the eastern side. Dude was in the trenches. Horatio, even in the concept art, he looks so smooth, bro. That is Huno? Oh no, man. Nah. Like, the first slides, they were so on point, but now we get to it. I don't know about this. I don't know about this. I don't know. So, Dexter, I don't feel him. Kronos, I can kind of see that. Cord, I absolutely don't see that being Cord. But I could be wrong. Dusty, sure. Fingers... Fingers looked so old in Gothic 1, didn't he? Fisk. Okay, looks alright. Fletcher. Yeah, okay. Fortuno, yeah, I imagine something else. Homer. He's looking rough, man. He's tired of sleeping outside. He's tired of not having rice schnapps. And one day, you know, he was so fed up, he came up with the idea of building a fucking dam. Who know, man? No, they did him dirty in this one. Gothic 2 Huno. Let me take a peek at this man. What? Yeah. Okay. Huno is the smith, right? So, the smiths of Gothic, they always look like burly types. I don't know. Huno doesn't give that impression to me. Jarvis looks cool. Ian looks cool. I said that in the last video. Lefty, dude, look at that jawline. Holy fuck. I don't know about that. Madarion. Okay. Looks alright. Mordrak. That's Mordrak? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, man. The first slides, they were fucking awesome. And now it deteriorates a little bit. Some of them are pretty good, though.
Be unique and like also feature a certain level.
Okay. Mixir. Oh boy. Nefarious. Okay. Ori. Yeah, sure. Redford. That was the original Redford. I think Redford looks way too young in the teaser. Huna looks Romanian. Okay. Raven. Yeah, they definitely made him younger in the finalized version. That is the Rice Lord. Bro. Gotta tell you something, I was so let down that the Rice Lord isn't Asian. Damn, I hoped for him being Asian, man. We need some representation for the Eastern boys, if you know what I'm saying. He's also the Rice Lord. Sketty. Bro, this concept art is actually better than the Sketty that we got that we got in game. There was a very brief moment we could see him in one of the episodes. Riordian looks cool. Reminds me a little bit of Ron Perlman, just a little bit, just a tiny bit. That's Skip. Skip looks cool, man. Snuff. Yeah, I like it. Olbert. Bro. Olbert is in the old mine. He is guarding the shack, I guess, right? And you can kind of lure him away. He's like, oh, they're all eating. They have a great feast down at the bonfire. And he's like, yo, without me, I'm going to check it. That's him, right? Whistler is the danger. Whistler looks really cool. I like it. Wolf looks a little bit like Elon, don't you think? Oh my god, is that mud? In this concept art, it seems like he's got a mullet. Right, I would love for Mud having a mullet. I really dig that. That would be so awesome. Now we got Turok. Bro, what the fuck's going on with Orshak? Damn. He looks grim, brother. He looks so grim.
Level of detail.
When you have some original material, I mean, you have like a starting point, but that means that you need to get creative in doing something new and adapting it to something that feels more real. So I'd say like it was really fun having the original.
Bro, what's going on here? Shave it off! Just shave it off! Oh, man.
It was really fun having the original and also seeing what the fans...
This looks awesome. By Ole Pavliuk? That is fan-made, right? Or is this man working at Alchemia? That looks awesome, actually. That looks like a straight-up human being, brother. Yeah, I dig this one.
Had interpreted this character to look like through the years. You know, we looked at a lot of fan art and a lot of cosplays and everything to redesign this.
Can I go back just a second? Look at those massive pauldrons. Dude, I dig it. This is such a cool cosplay. Oh, they're LARPing in the woods. That's cool, actually. That's awesome. Look at that. Oh.
To redesign these characters.
When we talked with Alchemia Interactive team, there was a need for around 60 story important characters. Besides that, there was also a need for a couple of hundred unique NPC characters. That was a major challenge, to create that number of characters within a time and budget constraints. To address this, we created our own tool called Maestro, which allows us to mix and match faces, armor items, wardrobe items, hairs, textures, anything.
I mean, we did all the TIA characters pretty early. The other
Well, I gotta say, this is so awesome. This is so awesome what kind of tools they have nowadays. So they created their own tool to basically create characters more easily or more accessibly. And we've seen that this is a company called Gate 21, and I vaguely remember reporting on them in one of the earlier videos that I made about the remake. And I thought it was like outsourced, and it kind of is, but it's like, I think Gate 21 is kind of in cahoots with the Embracer group, so it's kind of in-house but also out-house, you know. It's strange. But the tools, they look so cool. Like, imagine what modeling a face was back in the day. It was painting it, you know, and then wrapping it around the fucking model, and that's it. And now you've got all those intricate systems and stuff. Awesome.
characters got assembled pretty late in the development, and then we realized, okay, we need certain additional features for making characters more unique. So, for example, the characters in the Swarm Camp, they all have unique tattoos. We worked with a professional tattoo artist to come up with a clear visual language and also what sort of meaning these tattoos could bring. We really tried to emphasize.
I really like the tattoos, what I've seen right now. It's a very distinctive style. In my opinion, it's like kind of neutral. It's not as edgy as like, remember those fucking, how are they called? Tribal tattoos? Yeah, they were called tribal tattoos, right? Early 2000s, everybody seemed to have them, and I always found them a little bit cringe. But those one, I like them. They have very sharp edges. And at least it seems to me like most of the characters from the Swamp Camp, they have different tattoos, so no repetitions. I think there are some very iconic tattoos. If we take a look at Iberion Gothic 1. Oh, we had him here. Where it was like a very, very different style, I want to say. So the style changed when talking about the tattoos. But that's all right. It's still looking very cool.
Size, tiny details.
We were getting concept images, 2D concept images from Alchemia Interactive with detailed.
Bro, I gotta say, I really like those concept arts. Can I buy one? I want, you know, some on my wall here. But I'm broke. Oh my god. Gomez went from Italian mafia boss to Romanian car star. Oh no. Oh, this moment when it's just true. When it's just true. No hate to Romanians, by the way. But yeah, that's great. Oh my god. Yeah, but look at this armor. It looks awesome, brother. I love the colors. Jesus Christ. And he looks way better without that goatee. He looks way better.
Description of the characters, and from there we created 3D models and rigs for those characters. A big focus of ours was to create those characters to be super optimized. So we ended up creating a system for Unreal Engine that provides twice the FPS than traditional engine evaluation. In short, players will have more FPS.
Y luego cuando empezamos con los humanos, las faciales de los humanos sí que los externalizamos en una empresa de outsourcing con G21, y nosotros hacemos como todo el rig corporal y luego agregamos todo el rig facial. Entonces, para combinar y hacer todos los diferentes tipos de personajes, pues utilizamos un programa que se llama Mutable, que está un poco en desarrollo, entonces Pues bueno, es un reto de ir aprendiendo y evolucionando con el programa, pero este nos ayuda a poder hacer cualquier cambio de ropa y de cabeza que queramos en tiempo real.
I think the most difficult character and the one where we iterated on the most was Diego, because he is also the character you meet at the very first thing, and I think a very beloved character by the fans. So we did a lot of like back and forth and iterations over iterations, and then just by luck we actually were able to come up with the perfect concept art where everybody was like, okay, this is it, let's just try to build it out. And I mean, fortunately enough, our partner studio, Gate 21, did an amazing job of converting that concept into 3D, and that's how you end up with.
Okay, I gotta stop here. I think Diego is just, I think he's almost perfect. You can easily recognize him. You know it is him. I just like it. They took some liberties, obviously, with a beard, but I don't care. He's still got the main features. His eyes are very important. His nose is very important. I think they just yeah, it's just a great model overall. And I wish they, I know it's unrealistic, but I wish they would invest a little more time in certain models, Gomez, for example. But you know, it is what it is.
The Diego as he is.
Could you improve my armor? For the right price, sure.
Armor system we have in Gothic Remake, we are going out from levels of armor like the light, the medium, and the heavy. And what we are aiming for is for customization for the player. So the idea is you get the armor for your camp and you can improve it, but not just in a visual way, also giving your different defense for different elements. So for example, you can be a rogue and go to talk with Wolf and ask him to, okay, let's improve this armor or change the visuals to have this kind of scarf or wolf fur. But it's not just also a visual thing, also give you more for example, point defense for arrows, or more falling defense for move quickly for the war.
In the original, it was like every guild had like 2 or 3 armors that were always the same. And we felt like, you know, you meet a handful of shadows, a handful of guards. And it would be kind of cool if every armor has some slight difference in there. So we kind of like added some variation in there. And via that system, we actually were like, well, why not expose it to the player?
Bueno, por ejemplo, he trabajado de muchos personajes, los de toda la ropa del Old Camp. Por ejemplo, me encargué yo básicamente.
Oh man, that looks so awesome. We gotta talk about this, brother. So first of all, I wanna almost ban Landros because he's talking smack about having no helmets, bro. No, having no helmets in Gothic is okay. Having helmets baked into your armor, that's alright. But a separate slot for helmets is just non-negotiable. It is silly, it always looked dumb. But I love you, brother. So this is obviously a very cool system. Like Reinhard Pollice said, we had fixed armor sets in all of the Gothic games, or at least those that matters. At least those that matter. Gothic 1 and Gothic 2. And this is a very nice solution to just more visual fidelity, so you don't have like, or it's like the light shadow armor, medium shadow armor, and there's the heavy shadow armor. Now you can really go wild with it, like reasonably wild, and say, okay, I'm more of a shadow that is fighting from a distance, so, you know, I don't know. I prefer if somebody hits me at close range to have more damage negation in the melee department. You know, that makes sense, and it looks different, and it looks cool. That's cool. So we kind of get a very, very, very light version of Fashion Souls. Obviously not to that extent, but yeah, prepare your Angus for Fashion Gothic to a certain degree. A very limited degree, but still. I like this very much. It gives you a sense of personalization, that you know, have your own unique armor in a sense. It's cool. I like it. Dude, awesome. And again, the artworks, look at that. But the pauldrons, They're too small, brother. They're too small. King of Chaos, I didn't hear you. They did not have helmets. Yeah, you know why they lost the war? Because they had stupid ass looking helmets. That's what's going on. Jesus Christ. Vertigo, can you read what I said? Brother, I'm sorry. Vertigo, I think Gomez looks like the Godfather in the original. Devs should take that. Kind of, yeah. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Some people mentioned it before. He looks like a Italian mob boss. You know, I get it. I definitely get it, and I like that about him. And now he's, I don't know. His face is not as recognizable. His face is not as recognizable as that of Diego. When we first took a look at Gomez, bro, I swear, if they would have just shown the face, just the face, no armor, not anything, and they would post it on Reddit, in the Gothic forums, wherever, people wouldn't have guessed that this was Gomez. Simple as. I don't believe people who were like, definitely, that's Gomez. No. I don't want to believe this. It's not true. It's not true. I couldn't recognize him as Gomez. Yeah.
Y creo que al final quedó bastante resultón. Los shadows, por ejemplo, me gusta muchísimo cómo quedaron.
Michael Brown, no helmets, no shields, no horses. On a serious note, would you actually like to have these things in Gothic? I would like to have... okay. Shields, definitely not. You know why? Every single fantasy game has shields. And it makes sense, okay? It makes sense. But I always like the very visceral style of fighting when it comes to Gothic. That made the world special. You're like, where's my shield? Where's my... No shield, brother. You gotta go. The only defense you have is your fucking weapon. And that made the universe kind of special to me. On the same note, I'm like, yeah, shields are kind of an integral part to medieval fantasy. You cannot deny it. It's just simply a part of it. But I like how it is in Gothic 1 and Gothic 2 that you do not have shields. Shields are canonical. There's the shield of Dominique, I think, who was a general fighting for Innos. Something in the month of May. No, you get a little bit of lore when you're down in the reliquary of the monastery of the fire mages in Gothic 2, where they have a shield. Yeah. And helmets, they looked so stupid in Gothic 3. Every single helmet looked so stupid. And when you have mods for Gothic 2, all the modified helmets look so dumb too. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm fine without these things. But let's move on.
Aunque hubo mucha dificultad entre convertir algo tan icónico del original en algo nuevo.
I'm Nico. I'm a programmer at Alchemia. And yeah, I'm mostly doing conversation camera stuff. We have a bunch of different presets. Those are basically the shots of the camera.
Hey.
We have different kinds of checks. Like we have a big list of all possible presets. So the camera isn't like bugging into a wall or into another character, for example. There are a bunch of different checks. The camera knows, like we make a raycast into the wall. Is there something? There can't be anything in the way. When you think about what could influence the light, of course, like the daytime, like is it night, is it day? Big difference. Are you inside a building? Are you outside? Are you like right next holding a torch in the night, or are you without a torch? Of course, it's like a big difference too. For the more important ones, we don't use any randomness. Everything is fully planned. So the designers can like drag the camera where they want, to the lighting where they want, and like press a button so to export it. But they can, in the tool we have, for example, there's like one important conversation, and they can say this line, this one specifically should have this shot.
Bro, So this was one of the developers I had the pleasure to speak with at last year's Gamescom. It was a very, very pleasant guy. And it was like a group actually of 3 developers. That was before I talked to Kai and Reinhard once more. And unfortunately, it's like the type of development that I have no clue about, like lighting and stuff. Yeah, I know it's important for gaming. But again, my brain, very small, very smooth, very shiny. You know, I don't comprehend these things very well. But it's awesome, once again, to see the tools they have. And, bro, you need to study to do this. I mean, I think you literally have to study to do this, but this is awesome. This is awesome, you know? Also, like, when it's not in focus, I really like these type of cameras. Also, like in Witcher, where you can adjust the camera just a tiny bit. That gives you this cinematic experience. Very, very awesome. Now, we got to talk about this. Brother, what the fuck is this? My head is going to explode. This is awesome. This is manipulating the terrain. This is awesome. You can walk on water like Jesus. Like cool Jesus. What the fuck is going on, man? Grug streamer. Yeah, exactly. That's me. That's so awesome. Look at that. Also, like how the light is reflected and refracted. Is it called refracted? Refractions? You know, when light shines through the water. That looks really awesome. Look at that.
In the Trekcar team, we try to give it more soul to the game. We try to make it more alive, more dynamic. The creatures feel more alive when...
Wait. That's a lizard, right? That must be a lizard. I was shocked for a second because I thought this is a fucking crocodile. And I'm like, yeah, there's Alligator Jack, you know, in far off in the lands of Jarkandar, and he killed all of them. But yeah, this is a lizard. But it has a very, very alligatory, crocodile-esque texture, I want to say, which is crazy. Shields are boring, but they are so OP that everyone has to use them, same as spears. Fantasy is cooler without them. I get it, you know, sometimes people want to play as the fucking Spartans or whatever. I get that. But again, it takes away from how combat is fought when you have a shield, because that makes you play defensive, very defensive, and you're cowering behind your shield and you're waiting for your turn and you're basically invincible and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I know you can circumvent this by saying, okay, if you get 5 times on your shield, you know, your parry breaks or something like this. But I can't help it. The idea of not having shields in Gothic is kind of cool, in my opinion. It does something to my brain. I don't know what it is. It's a river lizard. Yeah, it is. But looks cool. Look at him. He's drinking.
They interact with the environment. Also, we take care of the climate changes, such as on the swamp camp. There are this fog environment, feeling the environment so reactive towards what is going on, and to see that the creatures actually live in their own and interact with the system.
The fans, they only have seen the tip of the iceberg of everything we have ready for them. In other words, the color, the intensity of the sun, the cloud cover, the rain, the chances of a storm breaking out, the varying intensity of rainfall, the waves growing stronger during storms, light.
Wow. Give me the lightning. Jesus Christ, look at that. Awesome. Bro, where is this? Landros, yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're going for kind of a semi-realistic approach, and I'm like, you know what looks cool, what is cool. In real life, if I would have to fight against somebody, and you give me an array of weapons, a big two-hander, a spear, and whatever, I wouldn't choose what looks cool. I would choose the spear probably and the shield, because that makes me live longer at least. But the coolness factor, brother, can't deny it, that this pure combat of Gothic 1 and 2 just looks so cool.
Lighting
I know, Landros. Okay, can we please move on? Oh, God, this man. I love you.
Lighting the sky and illuminating the night, or even the fog lingering after a storm. So many factors affect the lighting and the overall look of the game that controlling them while staying true.
This looks nice. I love it. And I also love that we had this shot of a scavenger, a dead scavenger that was rotting for a day or two and it slowly decomposed. Bro, that's so cool.
To our artistic direction, you know, the Baroque has been a major challenge.
Departamento de animación siempre hemos querido, ¿no?, mantener la esencia del juego original. Entonces, para nosotros este ha sido realmente un objetivo y hemos tenido que ir con mucho cuidado de hacer animaciones adaptadas a los tiempos de ahora, que son más realistas probablemente, pero manteniendo la esencia del original.
Main challenges, I think, is of the game basically is to make the movement so responsive and connect the responsiveness of the player wants. And this is the kind of things that animation programming is really important, because you want them to give the sensation that they have full control of the actions and also do cool stuff. Cool. And for example, some technology that we are using right now that is motion matching. Using motion matching basically allows us to have a huge amount of animations and blend between all of them, and that will give us like more natural transitions between all of them.
En humanos, por ejemplo, estamos usando más el estilo de animación con traje de captura de movimiento, concretamente con un sistema que se llama Xsense, y realmente estamos consiguiendo resultados muy interesantes, pero con las criaturas, en cambio, hacemos más animación post-to-pose. Y eso también nos permite un poco más innovar y salirnos un poco más de lo que es la realidad, ¿no? Y entonces, cada uno de ellos tiene su gracia.
El tema de animación, claro, estás creando vida. Entonces es muy guay cuando ves personajes que se están moviendo con la personalidad que tú querías, que están haciendo todos los movimientos que querías que hiciera, y verlo, ¿no?, en el juego, como en este caso en el juego, en el environment, cómo recorre los lugares. Y no solo los personajes, ¿no?, todas las criaturas, todo lo que tenga vida es especial.
Realmente me está gustando mucho cómo estamos llevando las cinemáticas, creo que están quedando muy interesantes, porque es un momento en que en el animador en el videojuego tenemos que hacer animaciones muy específicas, ¿no?, de un tiempo muy concreto y unas acciones muy concretas, con un tiempo muy justo. En cambio, las cinemáticas nos permite al animador explayarnos más y hacer animaciones un poco más.
I gotta stop here for a second. Do you guys think that this is Pyrocar? I don't know, man. That looks like some lower level Magician of Fire. That doesn't look like Pyrocar to me. What do you think? That's not Pyrocar, isn't it? But he was in the original cinematic. Yeah, but is it really Pyrocar? I don't know. Like, he's not wearing a high magician robe or anything like that. I don't think it's Pyrocar. So could be money might get changed for G2. Yeah, but they now have the far side. They know what's coming, so they can, you know, probably make a fine model for him, a proper model for him. Yeah, man, it's he's floating. Well, that's awesome that they have all these tools at hand. This is incredible. This is incredible. Jesus Christ. Okay, we're almost at the end. Let's move on. Oh, by the way, Michael Brown said earlier today, I have noticed some people complain about the remake taking too long to be released. Where you guys stand on this? Yeah. So, take your time, Alchemia. Please take your time. Take your time. If it's a summer release, I don't care. If it's a fall release, it's probably not that good because of GTA 6. But at the same time, the people who play GTA 6 are not the people who play Gothic. So Gothic is like a niche, you know. It's something that only a few people play. I mean, I'm not interested in GTA 6. I think these are two types of different games, and yeah, it's still a big release, and you should keep that in mind. But my general stance is take your time, polish, please. For once, polish. Gothic 1, rushed. Gothic sequel, scrapped. Gothic 2, rushed. Night of the Raven, I don't know. Gothic 3, very much rushed. Very, very much. And that was the shittiest one of them. And after that, well. But again, I said this earlier at the start of the stream. I said, imagine back in the day if they had full control of their resources. If there wasn't a lanky-ass, stupid publisher who needs money immediately to boost sales in said quarter, a publisher would say, you know, do your thing, make a good game, I got your back, fam, right? Imagine what type of game we would have gotten back in the day. A Gothic one with all the cut content, refined, longer chapters in the back, all that kind of stuff. So please, control yourselves. It's all in our best interest if we just wait a little bit longer. We can make it. It's good. It's all right. I don't want another rushed experience. And also think about this. They now have created Gothic 1, the remake. And they have all the tools at their disposal. And they all have the time to get familiar with those tools. Mostly, I don't know much about game development, but if they go for Gothic 2, they don't need to learn all those tools. They have them already. They have many, many assets that they can reuse for Gothic 2. So even though we are waiting longer for Gothic 1, the wait for Gothic 2 might be shorter then. I don't want to promise anything, but that might be how it goes. It's asset reuse and the use of the tools like the lighting system and the system for the characters that Gate 21 uses and all that kind of stuff. That is now baked into the logistics of Alchemia. You know, they all know what they're doing now. Going to Gothic 2 would significantly decrease the time to build that world, in my opinion. So it has positives.
Más libres y a veces más épicos e innumerables.
It's clear that they are a very...
That's the place, the deserted place. It's deep in the jungle. Yeah, look at that. Look at those mountains. Dude, they're so steep. Man, I wish we could go there. What is this? What is this? What kind of use has this building? It's deserted. It's
vocal community. I think we are taking some decisions to get closer and closer to the way they see the game and the way we actually see the game. And
okay, there we go. Here we are, boys. That's the money shot. Look at that. You have time to talk about this now. Are all the people watching, the people like, I forgot their faces, who was it? Vara Dark, for example, Mrs. YouTuber, do you see that? We also have sexy time women. Computer in hands, yeah. Here come the sexy boys and girls. Well, the girls mostly. Yeah, but no face. Okay, true. That's true. But at least we got some sexy clothing, which is, by the way, in the style of the original. Because back in the day, the developers said, oh, it would be so cool and sexy to let them all run around in BDSM stuff. And here we go, you know. That's Valaya. Grifters will be remarkably silent about this. Yeah, sure they will. And before she has a beard. Only a little bit of stubble. After years of drinking in Corina's taverns. Hope the body changed. Yeah, I think the body played a huge role in that because the shoulders were just so broad, you know. Look, there is a discussion to be had about it, but again, in a civil manner, I get it. And I think when you've got people who are really... Oh, I hate to... No, I don't hate to call people tourists. Because they are. People like those grifters that suddenly made big waves about it. They probably never heard of Gothic. They never played Gothic. So, by the way, you know, gatekeeping is good. Keep your house clean. Keep those people who want to harm your IP and your beloved franchises out of said franchises. They don't always have the best intentions. But I think if you cry woke at the Gothic remake because you saw the women, and it's like the only reason why you cry woke, I think, you know, it's not fair. It's not fair. I saw some comments being like, oh, there's so many black people right now. And I'm like, there always have been. And I think what I really like about Gothic, in the light of the latest political climate, I mean the latest, it's been going on for 10 plus years now, maybe more, definitely more, 15 years probably. All the accusations, all, you know, the studios that changed so much, the IPs that changed. Right now there's a hefty discussion about World of Warcraft, if you've heard about it. And obviously representation and stuff like that is getting mentioned. I think Gothic was always ahead of its time because it's just the perfect setting. The colony of Corvinus is a melting pot of different cultures and of different people because it's one massive open-air prison where every prisoner is meant to be a worker for the king, to mine the ore, to win the war. And it doesn't matter if you're from Varand, if you're from the southern islands, if you're from the eastern archipelago, if you're from Corvinus itself, from the Midlands or Nordmar, you get sent into the colony. And so you find a lot of different people. I like that very much. And I said in previous videos, I do love that they even now kind of hint at different cultures, different accents, different dialects and stuff like that. So awesome. This is how you do diversity right, in my opinion. It's not forced, it's interesting. But if you willy-nilly change somebody's appearance just to be inclusive or anything like this, that doesn't make sense in my opinion. But again, just calling Gothic woke because of the women, that's a little bit thin, mate. You might think, again, there are a lot of other things you might criticize about the remake, but that's not it, in my opinion. But you're entitled to yours. Okay, there is a lot of stuff going on in the chat right now. They were all black in the original too, not a bad thing. Yeah, exactly. Numerous changes due to the feedback before and no grifter said anything. Exactly, yeah. Lots of black people in a penal colony. Isn't that racist though? Do you have the numbers, please? that is quite a statement. Okay, you can say I'm wrong, or you can, but it doesn't make it effect. I'm sorry, I didn't follow this. Oh, Landros, if this didn't blow up so much, they likely wouldn't change a thing. And I kind of wanna say you're right. If there is an outrage, those groups are more likely to actually change something. That's all right. Hey, Ninesing, that's your opinion, and I think to a certain degree you are right. The inclusion of women in Gothic is difficult in my opinion. There is genuinely good reason for the lack of representation in the original, but the inability to address that in 2 and 3 is worth considering too. Harbor mit... Oh my god, what's going on with the memes today? Harbor militia statistics. They not be lying. Oh my god. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. I gotta compose yourself, Vertigo. Holy shit. You guys are funny today, aren't you? Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I gotta read the comments a little bit, and then we gotta move on with the thing here. Yeah, the inclusion of women in Gothic. I mean, they always have been included in those games, but to what extent is the problem, right? Or not the problem to some people. I think how they were included in Gothic 1 is really spot on. Yes, you could have interacted a little more with them. To what degree remains to be seen or remains to be discussable, you know. Some people might want extensive quest lines with the women in the colony. I not so much. I think if you have a prison society like in Gothic 1, you will eventually have women that are demanded by the kings of the valley. Because in a certain way they control the outcome of the war. So the kings in the mining colony are very, very powerful. They can demand whatever they like. So if I'm in that position, I'm sorry. I wouldn't want, like, you know, you have the little list like this, you know, and you're like, "Dear Mr. King Rober II, I inquire 200 liters of your worst beer. I want 200 loaves of your stalest bread, the toughest jerky beef around, and really, really miserable clothes, and all the bad things that you still have in your possession. I don't want good quality, you know." No, if I would be in a position of Gomez, I would be like, give me the list. Give me the finest beer you have. Give me the finest clothes. Give me the finest meat. Give me the finest bread. And give me the finest women. So, in my book, the women that you find in the colony, they are, or should be, exceptionally beautiful. Okay? I know beauty is subjective, but you know what I'm talking about. Objective beauty. Okay? So there is something to be said about this. And I think it's just logical to have somebody demanding very good quality goods. And on top of that, the women in the Gothic environment, in Gothic 1, they are some sort of environmental storytelling by telling you, yes, even the fairer sex of this world, even they, first and foremost, can be prisoners, even they are criminals, but is the life under the ore barons and I'm saying it right now, as a sex slave, is it better or worse than living outside of the walls of the old camp, where you might get eaten by a snapper or a razor? That's for you to decide, you know. It's a crazy situation, but it shows you that the world is ruthless in and outside of the colony. And inside, maybe even more. Or outside, maybe even more. I don't know. It's very ambiguous, but it shows that there is a very harsh tyranny at hand, that these are rulers ruling with an iron fist, and they can demand everything. They can even demand living people. That's how powerful they are, and they treat those people with disrespect. They need to clean, they need to cook. They're personal slaves, which is very harsh. And you sympathize with the women. Yeah, sure, all that talk about, you know, me as a little boy watching The Liar upstairs, okay. But you sympathize with the women because they're held there against their will. And as you mature, you realize, okay, they're probably not the wife of the Orbarons. You know, they're not Mrs. Orbaron or anything like that. They are objects. And that is the sad truth. And that is a truth that comes from our real life. That we have places, still today, not back in the day, still today, in this very moment, where women are treated very harshly. Inhumane. Makes you think, right? So I think they're very fitting for whatever happens in Gothic 1. In Gothic 2, it is a completely different thing. You've got peasants, peasant women. You've got upper class women. You've got poor women. You've got prostitutes. You've got hardworking women. You've got adventurous women. You've got very dangerous types of women, like Cassia, who is the leader of the Thieves Guild. Would it be better to have a little more interaction with them? Yes, I'd say. Especially characters like Lucia, Cassia, Nadia, you know, beside the standard stuff. I wish there was a little more interaction. And to a certain degree, I wish there is a little more interaction in the remake too. But giving them the whole emancipation stuff, and they are now the fierce, battle-hardened Amazons who kill the Ore Barons and go on their own adventure. No, I think that's too much. So, oh yeah, Rennie, you're kind of right. Tony Soprano get finest women. Yeah, he got them. Not necessarily criminals. It's a brutal world. A king needs to win the war. Who would sacrifice a few gods? Yeah, sure. But isn't it said? Isn't it mentioned that, you know, also the women were criminals? I think in some type of dialogue it is mentioned. Who is it? Bartholo? Who's talking about this? I think it is. But I don't know. I don't know. Again, you can have strong female characters if they are written good. Just take a look at Alien. Sigourney Weaver as Ripley. Dude, I can identify with her even though I'm not a woman. And I'm not like her, you know. I can identify via different things than looks with her. So, strong characters, yes, but only if they fit into the context and if the writers know what they're doing. But in most modern media, writers don't know what they're doing. Okay, let's continue.
This attitude.
Iberian had women too, sorry. He had women too, but probably they got traded with the old camp. Right? That's what it is.
Of listening to the fans and trying to understand what they were trying to say, as with their criticism, it's something that we always apply to the art team as well.
Okay. Jesus Christ. There it is, coming 2026. Release date soon, TM. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, I'll put in some music for the boys here. Just in the background, I will let the video go, no sound, so we have something to watch. And now we can talk. Isn't that nice? We can talk a little bit. Okay. So, yeah, that was a very cool episode to watch. I really enjoyed doing it live once again. It was a pleasure doing it. I really enjoy the live format because it's kind of unfiltered. When I do scripts, obviously I think about it with my little smooth brain, and it's a different kind of thing. Obviously, I did some live stuff in the past, but people said, "Oh, I want your scripted stuff," and so it's up to me to find a balance between what I do not, in a scripted and in a live format. Yeah, once again, here's a prime example. There are some things that were done very nicely. I really liked some of these ideas, and then there were some ideas that I didn't really like that much. Bro, this was so awesome to see something like this. The Sleeper Temple. I'm very passionate about the Sleeper Temple. I'm in general very passionate about the game. Also passionate about Xardus Tower. I don't really like what's going on there, but we talked about it ad nausea. Ad nausea. Ad nausea? Ad nausea? Okay. Yeah, so, yeah. The concept art was so fucking good. I hope they release like a physical copy of an artwork, art book or something like this. Jesus, it was really awesome. Yeah, so there's a few people still watching, so I don't want to announce anything, but I want to talk about something. So back in the day, I said when I made this YouTube channel, obviously I want to put my thoughts out when it comes to my critique about the remake. And then I set my goal. I also want to make a playthrough of Gothic 1. And I said back in the day I also want to make a Gothic 2 playthrough. So now it's kind of a turbulent time for me in real life. I wanted to start such a playthrough sometime in the future. Best would be if it's obviously before the remake comes out, but I also have tons of other videos that I want to put out there, and I simply slacked around, and again, things changed a little bit in real life, so you know how it is, you know. But again, this playthrough will come at one point, but I don't want to promise you anything. So there's some interesting stuff. I want to go back a little bit. For example, this shot here. This is something that I dislike heavily. There are some things that are just done over the top, just like this ore heap, this small ore heap behind the throne of Gomez. I think it's just unnecessary. Xardus Tower is just too spiky and too over the top. I don't like that. But they're also good things, right? And I always want to make sure to say what I think. I'm not trying to bend my opinion. Someone once accused me of shilling for Alchemia. Someone said I was paid. Like, no man. If you really pay a channel with 2,500 subs to shill for you, you've done something very wrong. You should check your PR basics. You know, should probably get a lesson or two, because that's not how you do it. So if I dislike things, I say it outright. If I like things, I also address those. And I don't like Gomez. I love the biters. I don't like Lee, but I like Laris. I like Saturas. I like Raven. I don't like that the armors lost their silhouette. So there's many things that I like and dislike. But my opinions are my own, and everyone has different opinions, and that's good. Oh, Cyrus, hey. Yeah, somebody said that. I get paid. It was a comment under my YouTube videos. Everybody knows you're getting paid by Alchemia. I'm like, what? Where is the money, bro? Am I wasting all this time? I don't see a fucking penny of Alchemia. Like, bro, what's going on? Please. Give me some money. No, that's not what this channel is for. I want to be genuine, and I think I did somewhat of a good job with that up until now. I look forward to the future. Okay, so the music is out. I don't know why it stopped, but I think it's also a good moment to say thank you. Thank you all for watching. I had a great fucking time. It was very cool. Thanks for being here. I see you in the future. And always nice to have you guys in my chat. It was a real pleasure. And I will make a poll in the future because I thought, hey, sometimes we can also talk about different things. You know, not just Gothic, but also like gaming at large. What's going wrong? I like to have a discussion with you guys. Like today, you know, reading the stuff and somebody's putting their perspective into the chat. That's cool. We can chat about this. But again, I don't want to promise anything. Maybe it's like a spontaneous stream where we just hang out and chill. All right, so I wish you all a very nice evening, a good one. Have a great, weekend, the rest of the weekend. Please stay safe, stay cool, take care of yourself, and I love you all. I love you all. Even Landros. Even when he's bothering me with the shield and the helmets and whatnot. Even that one I love. I see you, brother. I love you. But I had it with those shields and those horses and all that kind of bullshit. Okay? See you guys. I love you. Awaken.